Hello everyone, this is Mark Hammonds once again with EdTech on Tap. What I wanted to show you today is this free Web 2.0 service from the fine folks at Socrative. And what this service allows you to do is it allows you to use any web-enabled device, iPhones, Android phones, iPods, iPads, anything of that nature. Use those web-enabled devices as a student response system. So first thing you have to do is sign up for a free account. Notice I said it was free, so there's no charge for this whatsoever. But I've already created an account, so what I can do is go ahead and log in. And when I log in, I am presented with this interface here. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind is right over here. This is your room number. This is unique to each teacher that creates an account on Socrative. So this is what is the bridge between you and your students as you create these quizzes that they're going to take later on. As I scroll down here, I have a couple of different options. This first section right up here, this single question activities. Now these would be ad hoc questions. These would be things I would want to do kind of on the fly. Something that I would just want to ask a question and get kind of some instantaneous feedback from some of the students. But what I can also do is I can use these three options here, quiz-based activities. So I can start a pre-made quiz. I can do a exit ticket, which is kind of an end of the class pulse check to find out what they've gathered and some time for reflection at the end of the quiz, or I can run a quiz as a game, which is called a space race. But what I want to do for the sake of this screencast is just show you how to start a quiz. So I'm going to click on Create, Edit, and Import Quizzes. When I do that, I'm presented with these few options here. Again, it shows me what my number is, which is a constant reminder here for me. So I can either create a quiz on the fly. This would be something I would want to create on my desktop computer through the web browser. I wouldn't want to necessarily do it on one of those web-enabled devices. So I can create a quiz, or I can import quizzes. So for this sake here, I'm just going to go ahead and click on Create Quiz, and I will call this the eTaught example. Okay. Now right here, I have the option to enable sharing. So as I add questions into my quiz, I can then share this with another teacher on campus, which would give them the ability of using this as a foundational stepping stone to maybe make the quiz that much better in the future. So I have two options to select here. So by clicking on multiple choice, I can ask a question of my participants. So I will give some options. Okay, so I've given 5 different options. Now this explanation would be something where it would give information after they answer the question. So it's kind of a help text afterwards to help them maybe gauge their answer a little bit better. So the checkboxes over here on the left-hand side, this gives the option for me to designate what is a correct answer or not. So in this case, black is the correct answer. So let me go ahead and do another multiple choice question. And I will again select another correct answer. And now what this allows you to do is when these items here are checked, what this does for you is it grades the quiz for you as students are taking it. And then at the end you get a detailed report, which I'll show you momentarily. So let me go ahead and give the option of a short answer. Now the short answers won't grade automatically, but it does give the option for some more feedback, some longer responses so you can gauge their understanding of a given subject area. So I can continue to go through and add multiple questions. There appears to be no limit to the number of questions I can ask. For the sake of this screencast, I'm just going to limit it to these 3. So I click on Save. And again, now here's that sharing number that I can share with other teachers on my campus or other people from all around the world. So that's the basics of creating a quiz. So now what I want to do is go back to the main screen. Now on the main screen, this is where I can start a quiz. Now let me show you a couple of options. So right here, this is where I can select from the different quizzes that I might have available to me here. So I'll go ahead and click on the eTaught example. Now, student-paced quiz would be one where students are self-driving the quiz, so they can answer the questions in 30 seconds, or they can take as long as they want for a particular question. The teacher-paced quiz would be one where it would be teacher-driven, so I would be presenting the questions in class, and then I would be pushing the questions at my will to all of the web-enabled devices in the classroom. I have a couple of advanced options down here as well. So I can randomize the answer choices, so my ABCD is going to be different than Johnny's ABCD next door to me. Disable the immediate feedback, so this will not show the students whether they got the answer right or wrong immediately after submitting it. And I can also hide the question explanations if I choose to. But for the sake of this, I'm just going to leave all those there. You guys can experiment with that as you go. So I'm going to start my eTaught example as a student-paced quiz. And now what it's basically asking for, it's waiting for my students to get into class. Now for each one of these quizzes, I'm limited to 50 participants. If I was going to use this quiz in another class, I would have to make a copy of this quiz, which is called duplicate inside of the program. I would have to duplicate it for each individual period. As you can see here, I have a student that has joined my class, and that student is me. So from the web-enabled device, I will go to m.socrative.com, put in my name so the teacher knows who is taking the particular quiz. Okay? And I will press submit. And as you can see on the screen here, it's asking for my answer to what is my favorite color. So in this case, my favorite color happens to be blue. And notice wherever I put that explanation text, that shows up there in the green, but it also tells me that which is the wrong answer. So I will proceed to the next question. There we go. And my favorite ice cream is mint. And it says, good job that I got it right. And next question once again. And here we have the short response, which offers a little bit more opportunity for a deeper thought question from students. I will finish my quick quiz. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the teacher view. So this is what I would be witnessing as the students are taking it. And I can see that Mark Hammonds took it. He has completed it. He's answered 4 out of 4 questions. And he's gotten 50% on this particular quiz right here because he's answered 1 out of 2. And it only grades the multiple choice. So if I want, I can hide these so I don't have to look at it, or I can take a look to kind of gauge the class participation. But when I'm all done, I can click on End Activity, and then it gives me the option to either email a report, download a report, or just say no report. But you can always retrieve these later on. So for the sake of this right now, I'm just going to go ahead and email the report. So let me quickly show you what that report looks like. So here, this is an Excel spreadsheet. So I have my eTaught example, which is the name of my course. And then I have, for each individual person, in this case I only had 1, I would have a unique row with each individual person here. And the red ones are incorrect, the green ones are correct, and it gives me a total score of 50%. So again, this was all free. This is a quick and easy way to use existing web-enabled devices in the classroom as a student response device.